The lottery code words for the California Fantasy 5 lottery drawing on Sunday, July 31st, 2011 are earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom, buffet. And there were three movies to focus on this particular weekend. The Smurfs in 3D, Cowboys and Aliens, and Crazy Stupid Love. And I actually almost went to see The Smurfs. Of course, it's the sort of movie that, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't even imagine going to see in my wildest dreams, but there were some compelling reasons why I thought that I ought to go see it. You may have noticed a few weeks ago I went to see a movie called Troll Hunter, and back in February I went to see Romeo and Juliet, and what all these movies have in common is the concept of sort of mythical gnome-like creatures, troll-like creatures. So I almost went to see the Smurfs, but the last minute I just couldn't quite bring myself to do it, even though based on the trailers I saw that they were trying to make it somewhat more adult friendly, with a little bit of sort of adult oriented humor injected into what was obviously otherwise a purely kiddie movie. But the price of movies nowadays is getting horrible, because I'm sort of forced to go to the prime time maximum price showings in the evening when the lottery drawing occurs, and rather than going to the bargain matinees. So it's just, I just couldn't bring myself to see it. And as it turns out, it was probably a mistake that I didn't go, because surprisingly, the Smurfs almost equaled Cowboys and Aliens in terms of its box office that weekend. And also, as it turns out, the lottery combination, which I had associated with the gnome-like creatures, actually came up as almost a 3+ mega match, not on the weekend when the movies were playing, but on the Mega Millions drawing on the Tuesday following the weekend. That would be August the 2nd. And this is interesting, because I've noticed a certain pattern here. I can't call it a hard and fast rule, but generally when it comes to the sort of PK influence on the lottery results, I've noticed over the years a trend where if we're dealing with lottery drawings in the fall and the winter, the PK influence seems to be largely retro PK, where the influence on the lottery results seems to occur prior to the event, the field consciousness event, but in the summer and spring, it's more likely to be sort of post PK or simultaneous PK, where it's occurring as I'm watching the event or following the event. It's not a hard and fast rule. Like I say, there are definitely exceptions, but in general, what happens is that the lottery results that seem to be most influenced by a particular field consciousness event in the summertime are those lottery drawings that come after the event. So I just thought I'd throw that in. Now, as for the other two movies, which I actually did go to see, Cowboys and Aliens and Crazy Stupid Love. Crazy Stupid Love, it was kind of funny, because I was talking about how I don't like movies like the Harry Potter movies, because they create an unrealistic idea of what the supernatural is like. Definitely not like that in real life. And yet Crazy Stupid Love is, in my opinion, a good example of what paranormal phenomena are really like. There's, as a plot device, these absolutely ridiculous coincidences occurring, which are reminiscent of something you'd see in a Shakespearean comedy. But in the reality of the situation is that as I was watching these ridiculous coincidences occur, I'm thinking, this is actually a lot of what really happens in real life that is of a sort of paranormal nature. Carl Jung and Wolfgang Pauli were discussing this issue of bizarre coincidences, synchronicity, events that are indisputably real phenomena, and they were trying to figure out together how these weird synchronicity coincidences occur. And of course, they didn't quite know about things like string theory and quantum entanglement. They actually did know about quantum entanglement, but you really need to invoke the concept of higher dimensions of reality in order to fully explain how bizarre coincidences can really occur. So anyway, if you ever happen to see Crazy Stupid Love, and you see these ridiculous coincidences occur, keep in mind that even though they seem absurd and unrealistic, that actually, especially when it comes to human passions, especially sexual passion, there seems to be a reality behind such coincidences and entanglement and synchronicity that is probably the most compelling example of the paranormal that we encounter in everyday life. And I wouldn't necessarily recommend the movie. It was kind of a not extremely funny comedy, more of a dramedy. I just can't fully recommend it, even though there were some amusing moments. Not the best romantic comedy I've seen. lately. In fact, a week earlier, Friends with Benefits was actually a very excellent romantic comedy, so I would highly recommend that one. Okay, so let's get to Cowboys and Aliens. This was been much anticipated, big summer blockbuster. I was looking forward to it on a number of levels, and you would be interested to know, if you haven't seen it already, that Paul Dano, who is in one of your all-time favorite movies, according to what you have said in the past, is in this movie, playing the son of Harrison Ford, the evil land baron. Anyway, yeah, Paul Dano, who of course played the sort of Weasley preacher in There Will Be Blood. This whole concept of cowboys and aliens, you might think, well, this is certainly a novel idea, but actually, if you go back into the old sort of matinee serials of the 1930s and 1940s, there's actually a precedent to Cowboys and Aliens called Phantom Empire, which was later rechristened as Radio Ranch. And it's got a similar idea to the whole business of cowboys and aliens. And you know, all I'm getting at is that while this might seem like a terribly original idea, it actually was thought of before, like about 70 years ago. So much for nothing new under the sun. And anyway, Cowboys and Aliens, it was okay. It was not wonderful. There were just ridiculously huge gaping holes in the plot that made it less than satisfying as a piece of entertainment. But Olivia Wilde was in it, and she's always hot. And so I guess it might have been worth watching just for seeing Olivia Wilde as this sort of exotic space alien babe. And I guess that's all we really need to say about Cowboys and Aliens at this point. So let's go ahead and entangle these movies with the code words. Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy,
25 years of marriage and you have nothing to say?
I'll just say it. I slept with someone.
If you keep talking, I'm gonna get out of the car.
I think the fact that I did it just shows how broke we are. How much really... Oh my God!
buxom, buffet.
You're getting a divorce?
Yeah.
Amy heard you crying in the bathroom.
Earth-shaking,
We all thought it was
bunker,
cancer.
Oh.
Thank God, Dad.
Yeah, just my relationship.
buxom, buffet.
Hi, can I buy you a drink? Let's get out of here. Want to get out of here?
Earth-shaking,
What are you doing later?
I don't know.
bunker,
I do. There's lots of beautiful women in this bar, but I can't take my eyes off of you.
It's time to go
buxom,
home.
Oh, it's forward of you, but
buffet.
okay.
Yeah.
Should I pull the car around? Have you been drinking? I'll drive.
Earth-shaking,
Hey, ladies man
bunker,
guy. Any tips in
rut.
the trade?
Your wife cheated on
Bossy,
you because you lost sight of who you
buxom,
are as a man.
buffet.
Just take that straw out of your mouth. It looks like you're sucking on it.
Okay.
earth-shaking,
You're sitting
bunker,
there with a supercuts haircut,
rut.
and you're wearing a 44 and you should
Bossy,
be wearing 42 regular.
buxom,
Credit card.
buffet.
Where are your wallets?
Earth-shaking,
Did you sleep in them?
bunker,
Jeez, God.
rut,
Probably.
You would?
You
bossy,
gotta take control of your manhood, pal.
buxom,
Can you put on some clothes,
buffet.
please?
Oh, I'm sorry, is this bothering you?
earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom,
What do you want to
buffet.
do with me?
I want to show you off to my ex-wife.
Earth-shaking, bunker, rut,
I met a girl,
Bossy,
and she is a game changer.
buxom, buffet.
She's your soulmate, right? Go get her back.
Wow. How old are you?
Earth-shaking,
I'm in love
bunker,
with her, and I don't know what to
rut.
do about it.
bossy, buxom, buffet.
I don't know when you and I stopped being us.
Earth-shaking,
When I told you that I had to work late, I really
bunker,
went to see the new Twilight movie
rut.
by myself.
And it was
bossy,
so bad.
buxom, buffet. Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom, buffet. Earth-shaking, bunker, rut,
Take off your shirt.
Why?
Will you
bossy,
take off your shirt?
buxom,
Seriously?
buffet.
It's like you're photoshopped.
Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom, buffet.
I
Earth-shaking,
woke up in the desert
bunker,
like I've been
rut.
plucked out of the sky.
bossy,
I don't know.
buxom, buffet. Earth-shaking,
I'm gonna need you to come with us.
bunker, rut, bossy, buxom,
Wouldn't do that if I was you.
buffet. Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, Bossy, buxom,
Yeah, that's
buffet.
laundry, boss.
I want that man. You give him to me
Earth-shaking,
I need to know
bunker,
where you came from.
rut,
now. So do I.
bossy,
You don't remember anything.
buxom, buffet. Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom, buffet. Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom, buffet. Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom, buffet.
My wife. I need that weapon.
Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom,
Won't be for long.
buffet.
You just have to work together.
Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom, buffet. Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy,
They'll come back with
buxom,
more. There will be no survivors.
buffet.
It's what they did to my people.
Earth-shaking,
Good men do bad things.
bunker,
Bad men do good
rut,
things. You go get our
bossy,
people back.
buxom, buffet. Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom,
Step in.
buffet.
Looks like he's doing fine.
Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom, buffet. Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom, buffet. Earth-shaking,
Sightings have been
bunker,
reported all across the
rut,
city. There's
bossy,
still no explanation of what we saw last night over
buffet.
Central Park. All we know
Earth-shaking,
is that it's real
bunker,
and it's happening.
rut, bossy, buxom, buffet. Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom, buffet.
We're being attacked!
Earth-shaking,
fooled by their
bunker,
They're
rut,
friendly.
That's right, yeah, pasty
bossy,
giant.
buxom,
Smurfs.
buffet.
Little me interrupt.
Earth-shaking,
Is there a
bunker,
draft in here?
Nothing like a
rut,
cool breeze through my enchanted
bossy,
forest.
buxom,
I think I just
buffet.
smurfed in my mouth.
This summer,
Earth-shaking,
our turf
bunker,
Smurf
rut,
gets smurfed.
bossy, buxom, buffet. Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom,
but you're milking it. Don't
buffet.
milk it.
The Smurfs in 3D.
Earth-shaking,
Let's smurf this joint.
bunker,
Clearly that distance is
Rut.
too great.
Off you go.
bossy, buxom, buffet. So, would the Mega Millions results on August 2nd have been a perfect 6 of 6 match, 5 plus the Mega match for the gnome-related lottery numbers? If I had gone to see the Smurfs, the jackpot was over $80 million. Would it have been worth seeing the Smurfs for $80 million? Nah, I don't think so. Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom, buffet. Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom, buffet. Earth-shaking, bunker, rut, bossy, buxom, buffet.